looking for a great place in Montreal to have dinner? Well, I got two fantastic options. We're gonna go review them and let's see at the very end which one's the best one for you to go to. So we're in Montreal. The first place we're going to is Monarque. It's supposed to be one of the better restaurants here in Montreal. It's 42nd in all of Canada in 2020. So let's see if it's actually living up to the hype. Let's see how good the food is there. We're at the restaurant and look at this interior. Very nice. So first off, we got some wine. I won't try to pronounce the name. I'm going to butcher it anyways, but it's very good. Smooth, some deep fruits. A little bit tannic, but very good wine. They have some bread. It's kind of cold, to be honest, and it's just okay. It's not very great. It's nothing impressive. Yeah, I prefer Cheesecake Factory bread over this. Although the butter here is better.
The butter's good.
The butter's good. The bread is a little cold and not the most flavorful. This is so pretty. It has like, I don't know, some type of encasement. So that little encasement, it's almost like a little rice cake, or like it almost has the texture of like a shrimp cracker. It's pretty interesting and tastes kind of good too. White asparagus has like completely different textures than normal asparagus. If you think they taste similar, they're not at all. This is completely different. It's much more soft in texture, and it's like almost like strands. You can break it into little strands, which is really, really interesting. But it tastes really different. I've had this only once in my life in Macau, and it was really, really good. It's like cooked well. It's nice and soft, has good texture, and like there's this creamy, like foamy sauce next to it that is like really like light and airy, which is really great for an appetizer. So there's actually a licorice flavor to the sauce, and I'm not a huge fan of licorice, so that kind of doesn't do it for me for this dish. So it's not actually that great. The texture of the asparagus and everything, I like that. The sauce though, that makes that licoricey flavor, not it for me. This looks like a really flaky tart with some caramelized onions, like really nicely caramelized. Some pistachio bits on top. Oh, nice and crunchy, flaky. And this foie gras, very nicely seared. I hope this tastes fantastic. So first the tart. Caramel onions are so sweet. I love caramelized onions. That really packs a punch, like really strong flavor. And the pastry is super flaky, and I love that. The pistachios add a nice crunch, so it's like different textures all mixed together, but the flavors work really well together. Deer foie gras. Let's see if it's sweet, because I know the flavor combination is typically foie gras, because it's really fatty. You put something super sweet with it. They went savory on this one. Didn't go sweet, but it tastes really good. Like it has a nice sear on the outside, so keeping in that flavor. And foie gras is just so creamy. I love eating it. And if you just didn't know, foie gras is duck liver, giant duck liver, just seared up because it's so nicely fatty and keeps that duck flavor within it, which is really fantastic. So after eating that entire dish, I want to say that the caramelized onions were a little bit much. I think the flavor was a little strong, and it ended up being very, very sweet. The tart is very nicely done and flaky when you eat it, like just nicely put together, and a really tasty tart. But the caramelized onions, they need to be toned down just a little bit. I think it's a little bit, like a little too strong. But the foie gras was still great. Loved it. I'd have foie gras again. Honestly, any day of the week. This is the duck. The skin looks just nice and crisp. Yeah, it's like nice and seared or crisp on the outside. The gyoza here looks nice. The sauce smells fantastic. So first bite of the duck, very nice and juicy. It's not as like creamy as I was expecting it to be. There's a flavor here that really reminds me of Asian flavors, but I can't really make out exactly what the sauce is. I was just expecting more of like a butteriness to it, but it's cooked really well, and I like the taste. And there's this duck gyoza. That's really nice. Actually, a really fantastic gyoza. The insides are nice and juicy, nice slight crisp on the outside. The best part is that the wrap of the gyoza isn't too thick. So after finishing the duck, I thought it was a good attempt at Asian flavors, and I've now figured that the sauce is a little like plum-like. I guess maybe that's my fault for ordering it, being Asian and all. Like, they're attempting Asian flavors, but it's not really quite there. I had some of their ocean trout, and that was really nice, very delicate. The flavors were well balanced there, and they had some, like, the pieces that complemented it were very nice. Like, the entire dish was fantastic, but this duck was, it was just okay. So wrap up of Monarque. Overall, the ambience of the place, the style is very nice, like modern, very like warm and welcoming. It almost has like a French bistro type of feel to it. The food overall was pretty good. I would say it's decent. It's nothing like spectacular. I wouldn't say it's like a 100% must go type of place. They have a pretty cool concept. The food is pretty decent, and the ambiance makes it really nice. And it's within like a party or like a nightlife district in Montreal. So if you're trying to do that already, this is a good restaurant to go to. But if it means going out of your way to go eat there, I don't think that you need to. You can go to other places. I'm sure there's a lot of other really great food here. This restaurant is just pretty good.
The place we're going to is Farsides. So they have a really sick vibe. When you walk into this place, it's super moody. The vibe is very hip hop, basketball, pop culture. And like, you can see that with all the different artwork around the place. They have a DJ at night. They have those like changing fluorescent lights to really set the mood in the entire place. And I really love that. So this is a Thai-Hawaiian fusion. So the first thing I ordered was their lobster pad thai. That was really, really good. Like, the pad thai is probably one of the best ones I've had. I don't know if it's actually authentic. I don't think it is, because I've heard that pad thai is supposed to be a little more sour. But the flavors here really pop, and it's like an elevated pad thai. The only thing I'll say is the lobster did look a little bit small. It might have just shrunk while it cooked, but still, the presentation of that small lobster doesn't sit well with me when I got the dish in front of me, but it did taste fantastic. So that's one thing. Like, it tastes really good. So it's still worth paying the price. And honestly, they have a chicken option that's like way cheaper, like 20 bucks cheaper than the lobster one. So if the flavors are still there, that chicken one is probably your best bet. The next is the green curry. So their green curry doesn't taste as authentic as other ones that I've had. It has more coconut flavors into it. You can really still taste those herbs in it, and the flavors actually work really well together. It just has that slight bit more coconut than I would personally like, but honestly, it's still fantastic. Even though I don't like coconut, I still enjoyed the dish. So Monarque and Farsides, which one would I go to? I'm gonna pick Farsides. I just really love the vibe there more. It's casual, has a hip hop and pop culture vibe to it, and the food is fantastic. There are things that I just didn't like as much about Monarque's food. I think the flavors were not as balanced as I would like. Some of them were too strong, some of them were too light. Like, they just needed to find that balance to make the dish even better. But at the end of the day, they're two fantastic options. Honestly, if you want a different vibe, you want to take someone out on a nicer date, you can go to Monarque. If you want the thing to be more casual, Farsides is a really fantastic place to go. But if I was in Montreal for one day and I just had to have a dinner, I'm definitely going to Farsides instead of Monarque. I think it's the better option. I like the food better, the vibe better. I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments after seeing my review. So leave it down in the comment section below. Smash that like button, sub to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.